to talk a little bit on leadership. We know that everything rises and falls on leadership. In our conversation where we talked about success secrets from creation, we had a conversation that treated that nobody ever succeeds alone. Now, for you to be effective in area of delegation, there must be leadership development, since you cannot do everything alone. God by himself, after the creation of man, delegated man to continue from where he stops. All the innovations we see today, all of them are the inventions of men. The skyscrapers we see today, the rockets, the armories, the technologies that we are seeing today, all of these are reforms and creation of man. And that's because God gave them delegation. Else, creation maybe would have stopped at the Garden of Eden, and everything would have been revolving around the Garden of Eden. But it took that delegation to extend the advancement of creation. And since we know that for you to really have sustainable success, you cannot walk alone. So it's important we have a conversation around leadership, because for you to do delegation, you must have 2, 3, 4, 5 and more people that you intend to work with. I will start my conversation as I take my thought beats from the counsel of Jesus. You know, he's my role model, so I learn a lot from him. In the story of great people lies their secrets. So each time you read about somebody that is great, or you listen to somebody that is great, if you're diligent enough, you will discover the secret of that individual. Now, we came to a point when he was about to pass on the baton to his immediate disciples or proteges. He had to show this principle. In the book of John, when you read from verse 1, let me just do that. Just before the Passover feast, Jesus knew that the time had come to leave this world to go to the Father. Jesus is aware that his time to transit, his time to exit. Every business individual in the course of developing his business plan must have an exit strategy. So it is in the area of planning that you make arrangement for your exit strategy. How are you going to exit this particular venture that you are entering into? Because you are not expected to run it forever. You must have an exit strategy. So when he got to his exit point, because he already had a plan, remember, he said, I come in the volume of book that is written concerning me, which means there are plans concerning his life. So getting to that point when he's supposed to transit to the next level, he needed to do something. He needed to pass, a principle to those that are following him, so that they will be successful also in that venture. And when he came to that point, Jesus knew that the Father had put him in complete charge of everything, that he came from God and was on his way back to God. So he's aware that he's on his way back. So he got up from the supper table, set aside his robe, put on an apron, then poured water into a basin and began to wash the feet of his disciples. So he set up the system to wash the feet of his disciples, and actually he began to do the job of washing the feet of his disciples. And then turn by turn, they got to the turn of Peter. And because Peter already perceived that he is the person to lead the people that they are going to hand over to him. So when they got to his turn, Peter said, no, you will not wash my feet. Peter refused. He said, you are not going to wash my feet. Jesus had to threaten him before he accepted. He said, if I don't wash your feet, you're not going to be part of this thing. Which means even the thing you are eyeing, you're not going to get it. Peter now said, okay, don't wash only my feet. Wash the whole of my body. Why did Peter argue in the first instance? Why did he argue? So it brings me to the conversation that I want us to have today. You know, many a times we will fault our leaders. We fault people that have been given constituted authority to lead us about the things they don't do right. But unfortunately, when you are given that same responsibility, you do worse than them. It's not enough to sit down and then complain about a problem without you giving suggestions as how to solve that problem. It's not enough to criticize people. It's not enough to say this guy is not doing it well. Now, what should the person do? Very, very unfortunate. We sit down, criticize people, but when we get into those positions, we do the same thing that they do, which is this interaction between Peter, Jesus, and his disciples portray. It is natural in men, but Jesus, being a highly successful individual, had to give us a principle that is even from his own kingdom, that if you follow, you'll be successful in your leadership campaign. The ideology of people about leadership is lordship, how to be a lord over people. If you want to know the true character of an individual, give the person power, give the person money, give the person fame. You begin to see the true character of that person. You can never know the true character of a man that is poor. A man that is poor, don't claim that you know the true character of the person. Money, fame, affluence, power, they amplify who we are. They don't really corrupt us. No, they amplify the person we are. If you want to know the true character of an individual, give the person one promotion in any sector. You begin to bring out the true character of the person. Peter had been following Jesus all this while, but he perceived that he was going to be the leader. And you know, as it were, people like to lord it over those that they lead. But Jesus said, no, leadership is not about lording over people. It's about service to the people. It's about accountability to the people. It's about influence. That is what leadership is all about. Service, accountability, influence, development. That is what it is all about. I would have used one slogan, but you know where we found ourselves. And you know, I hope you all know what it means. You know, turn by turn, you should understand what I mean. That is what we call leadership. But it's very, very, very unfortunate. And I, for one, I wouldn't want to be an individual that is leading people. I will not tell them what I think, my opinion about leadership. By the special grace of God, these are some of the principles that is helping us and will continue to help us. A tree does not make a forest. There's no one man, no one tree, no matter how big the tree is, that it could be called a forest. If the tree, let it be as big as this building, you cannot call one big tree a forest. So you will need the cooperation of other people in order to succeed in what you are doing, no matter how little those corporations are. It could be a word of encouragement. It could be a kind of approval. It could be a cheer. You need it. In fact, many a times, I've come to discover that when I'm in the cycle of some people, I see myself, bringing out good things. I see good things coming out from me, which means the presence of some people, many a times, even bring out some great things out from me. So I know the environment that I associate myself with. Another thing I want to say is that the things that make us and the things that destroys us, all of them are inside of us. Don't tell me it's the economy of your country. Don't tell me it's the policy around the industry where you have found yourself. No. The way we respond to things is principally based on our makeup, our mindset. And it is the way we respond to things that will determine how our life will turn out. Not the way things happen, but how we respond to things, our response to things. So this man said, don't wash my feet. You know why? If people try to set some records straight, and people will begin to agitate. Is it when it is my turn, you want to change the narrative? That was what Peter was revolting against. But all this while, when it's the turn of somebody to lead, he will lord it over people. He will do everything the way they like to do. And then whether the people are suffering, it doesn't matter. You will imagine somebody that had nothing, that by the support of the masses comes into leadership in some clans. in less than 3 months, they become super rich, in quotes, while the people are impoverished. And if you ask them, they say it has been like that before. Now it's my turn for me to amass wealth. And that is why the country is dilapidating on daily basis. Because each time an individual gets in there, he believes it's his turn to make money. But they don't know that in the other way around, it is his turn to destroy the country. It is time for us to begin to do things the other way around. I did a little analysis. If the value of our economy today begins to rise, you don't even need to make more money for you to be richer. It's simple economics. You don't need to make more money. But today you need to make more money in order for you not to be poorer. Today, there were days that 500,000 will give you $10,000. There were days. What if you come back to those days where 500,000 can give you $10,000? Have you not become richer? You have become richer not by adding money to yourself, but by adding value. I think we should begin to think the other way around. Most importantly, these people that are called our political leaders, sometimes I wonder if they don't have any idea of business. And all they do is just to amass wealth that they cannot account for. Let's leave the conversation of political leaders. Let's bring it home. Let's begin to think of doing things differently. Jesus came and he said, let me wash people's feet. What is your definition of leadership? Before you begin to covet leadership position, what reform do you want to bring to the table? I suppose that is what should inspire our motive of becoming a leader. You want to become a local government chairman, to do what? You want to become a House of Assembly member, to go and do what? What are the reforms that you think you want to bring? Even right here we are in our small quarters. If you think you want leadership positions, what are you going to bring to the table? What are the reforms? Remember that the Creator gave man the responsibility to continue his creation. Imagine where man didn't have any idea as to what to do next. We'll still be talking about the Garden of Eden. And that is why you give people leadership position. Is either they maintain status quo or they take us back from where we have left. What is your definition of leadership? We must begin to define what leadership is to us. Is leadership about lauding people? Is it about sitting on one seat and directing every other person? If you have taken the position of leadership and then the people that you are leading are not becoming better, you have failed. Take this home. You have failed, no matter where you are. I've seen some places where they don't question their leadership. They call themselves leaders, but nobody asks them question because they are not leaders, they are Lord. Supposing you have been given an opportunity, an entrance level in leadership to lead few people, and now the people you are leading, they are asked to vote for you to retain that leadership. Are you sure you are going to retain that position? For example, some people are fathers, they have families, they are married, children. By virtue of position, you're a leader. But I can tell you, in some families, if you ask the children to vote, who do you want to be your father? They will not vote their father. Because the man is a total failure in terms of leadership. Apart from that position that the man holds, he has nothing else to offer. You're a failure. If you come to an office and people are asked to choose whether you should lead them, and they say no, that means you have failed. We know days where people are being begged to come and lead. In fact, when it comes to leadership that has no benefits, you see that they beg people to come and lead in those places. Any leadership position that has no benefits, they beg people to come to those places. But the moment you see leadership that has benefit, you see a lot of people clamoring to go for them. Supposing they remove all the rights and privileges around that same thing that you say you want to do, would you still want to be a leader? Is leadership about your personal benefits or about creating wealth for people around you? I think it is about creating wealth for people around you. How can they do things better? How can they solve their problems better? How can they get more reward? Not about you. I was talking to a friend that has a group of people that he leads. I told him that the best thing you can do to better your status is to begin to think much more about the well-being of these people you are leading. The young man saw me as a crazy individual. He's talking about how his life can be better. I'm talking about how to better the life of people he is leading. It's strange, but that is how it works. That is how it works. Imagine if I have to give money to everybody that is here on a daily basis. Do you know the amount of stress it will be on me? But if we create the platform where you can begin to make money, do you know the level of peace that I will enjoy? That is just the shortest explanation to that conversation. You have to deal bread to 200 people every day. That's stressful. But people derive satisfaction in doing all that. But a true leader does not. A true leader engages people in meaningful activities where they will have economic power to themselves. So if they have the opportunity to choose whether they should be your followers or not, they will choose not because of what they get, but they choose because either your results, either the influence you have, or either for the fact that they have discovered that you have their best interests at heart. Not because if they choose to vote out what they are going to suffer, and then because of the fear of the unknown, they stay put. No, that's not leadership. I call it leadership by intimidation. Intimidate the people. And then if you do this, this is going to happen. No. No matter where you are, no matter the number of people you are, how are you thinking to better their lives? How are you thinking to better their lives? You know, each time I look on the screen in the other office and I see a lot of people sit down there, you know, it puts my brain to work. Because I don't enjoy it that somebody is sitting in the office idle. And you know that these people are not on salary, right? And then the guy is idle. How is he going to survive? It puts pressure on me. So how do you feel the people you are working with, they are not doing anything? They are not generating any income. And then you are just comfortable. You are not a true leader. Now you want the people to subscribe to crime, to cheating, to stealing, or what? Let's begin to change our ideology. The point I'm making is this. There is so much that we can do. There are bigger responsibilities that are coming our way, even in this small cycle that we have found ourselves. But if you have not shown yourself, if you have not proven yourself capable, you will remain at the stage where you are. You might think that you are doing well, but I bet you are not doing well. You are not doing well. No man will on a candle and put it under the bushel. The moment you begin to see somebody that is doing well, that is showing better capabilities, definitely you give the person more responsibility. It's a matter of time. I have said this over and over. An individual that has integrity must become successful. But somebody that is crafty, that uses this means and the other means, may. And even when the person gets successful, he will not last. At least I've lived a short time of my life and I've seen people that, manifested those two things, and I know where they are today. Don't be the next. I know people those days, they were cutting corners, cheating their boss. And then the moment they discover that loophole and close it, business has closed for that individual. And then you have a reputation of not being honest. Nobody will entrust you with something bigger. Nobody. Nobody will entrust you with anything bigger. The moment you show that, you exhibit that side of being dishonest, nobody will entrust you with anything bigger. The last responsibility you got was that one they gave you before. Honesty pays. Let's not take advantage of people, no matter where you are. Don't take advantage of people. That's not the purpose of leadership, to take advantage of people. No. Peter said no. Say, don't watch me, because it was his turn to lead. How will it not be my turn, and I will not be the one to be serving these people when they are supposed to serve me? Imagine all these people being at my beck and call. If I call them, they do this. You say, no, that is not the purpose of leadership. It is the other way around. You should be the one serving them. You should be the one sacrificing. The summary is, leadership position is not for you to love the people. I want to encourage us to begin to redefine our leadership. Because someday, you might be given the responsibility to lead the sector of this, our country. And if you don't redefine your leadership today, you will do worse than the people are doing today. But if you're able to redefine your leadership, and when that opportunity comes, you will make history. We've been to places that don't have anything close to what we have, but they are doing far better than we are doing. Why? They have good leadership. If we just get good leaders, I'm telling you the truth, nobody will want to travel out of this country. Nobody will want to travel out of this country. Nobody. Places they don't have anything, but they have good leaders. Here we have everything, but we don't have good leaders. Thank you, and God bless you.